hear from him. All right. So moving on, I'm very quickly going to cover, an very interesting use case that we basically closed last quarter, right?
Okay.
So mainly on availability, right? Or replication. I know Harish also spoke about NAS to NAS replication, right?
Yeah.
During his use case scenario. This is going to be something similar, but a very, very different layer altogether.
Okay.
Now, when I talk about this specific customer, now, non-banking financial company, they are majorly dealing into UPI transactions, right? So
Okay.
UPI being the majority or the most effective payment gateway or payment way that everyone uses right now. Okay, be that your GPay, your phone pay, या कुछ भी आप ले लो, right? So this is what these guys were into. Okay, एक दिन के they were processing more than 85,000 transaction. So think of
Oh,
it, right? अभी
large volume.
very large volume, like very
Yeah.
large volume. And then again, I mean, they need to be spread across the entire country. Okay, तो फिर उनका जो पूरा सेटअप था, that is needless to say pretty much hybrid. And then काफी सारे servers, databases on prem, काफी कुछ on cloud. So that was basically their setup. Now think of it, जब भी हम लोग UPI transactions की बात करते हैं, okay, so it works very instantly, right? मैंने QR कोड स्कैन किया, right? अमाउंट डाला and then it is paid. बट आई एम श्योर सब लोगों ने ऐसा नोटिस किया रहेगा, बहुत बार होता है ना, और बहुत बार, लेकिन एक दो बार तो आई एम श्योर सबके साथ हुआ रहेगा कि मैंने QR कोड स्कैन किया, राइट? 500 रुपया इज फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई वांट टू पे टू समवन, मैंने वो अमाउंट डाला एंड देन वो सर्कल घूमता रहता है, राइट? घूमता रहता है एंड देन ऑल ऑफ अ सडन आई गेट अ मैसेज कि ओके हाँ भाई, योर ट्रांजैक्शन डिड नॉट गो थ्रू. ठीक है, अगर आपका पैसा कटा है तो आपको वापस मिल जाएगा, because UPI is at a different level right now. चाय वाला भी
I think it's the fastest growing in India, if I'm not wrong. आपने 500 बोला, आजकल लोग 5 रुपया करते हैं, तो
हाँ वही,
so
right?
I think everywhere it's a accepted way of doing the
Absolutely,
transaction. Yeah.
absolutely, right? The pain point that this guy had, okay, is when things did not work. Okay, so like I said, ना कि UPI, if it doesn't go through, then it's a
यूजर एक्सपीरियंस चेंज होता है ना, क्योंकि आज तो ऑटो वाला, वो चाय वाला, एवरीबडी यूज दिस, राइट?
exactly, right? और फिर जैसे ही अगर ऐसा कुछ भी हो गया, राइट, क्योंकि हाँ मैंने लेट्स एग्जांपल फोन पे से पे किया, आईसीआईसीआई बैंक से कनेक्टेड हूँ, नहीं हुआ, ओके, तो लोग मोबाइल से ही स्क्रीनशॉट ले लेते हैं और फिर सीधा डाल देंगे ट्विटर पे. और आजकल तो हरीश भाई ने बोला कि हार्ड डिस्क के भाव शेयर मार्केट से भी ज्यादा फ्लक्चुएट होते हैं, लोग शेयर मार्केट को भी ट्विटर से हिला देते हैं.
करेक्ट.
तो एक ट्वीट डाल दिया, ओके, तो वो पूरे ब्रांड का इमेज डैमेज.
Brand image is the key area. Yes, absolutely.
Exactly. Right?
What's this 5 lakh per minute outage?
Great question. So abhi, like I said ना कि okay, they are into processing all the UPI transactions. अगर an 85,000, more than 85,000 in a day, right? If मेरा server goes down, okay, or if my entire system goes down, even for a minute, okay, तो जो transactions मुझे उसको lock करना रहता है, right? Because this is non-financial banking sector, right? RBI also comes into the picture. They have a mandate that you need to log every single transaction, right?
True.
So image तो मेरा बिगड़ेगा ही बिगड़ेगा, right? उसके बाद RBI का compliance भी आएगा, जहां पे वो लोग मुझे फाइन मारेंगे, alright? Plus I will be losing, or I would have lost all the logs. तो मुझे पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि ओके हाँ भाई मुझे
I think real time replication and the data availability is pretty important for them. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's where ये 5 lakhs per minute का जो उनका downtime cost है, that comes into the picture. It would be more than 5 lakhs. Okay, if RBI comes in, तो फिर वो लग गई, right? But anyways, the point is, that's basically their pain point.
True.
अभी बात किया उन लोगों से, बात कर रहे हैं, and then needless to say they had a DR solution already in place. Okay, but then they are stuck, right? The point was कि वो ट्रेडिशनल डीआर सिस्टम था. ओके, वो स्केड्यूल्ड स्नैपशॉट लेता रहता है. ओके, अगर
Hmm.
एक टाइम के बाद मान लीजिए कि मेरा स्नैपशॉट नहीं गया, then I'm lost, then I lost my data. When we talk
The
about
RTO and RPO is critical. That
exactly,
how what's the gap between the
exactly,
failure and my data is available. Yeah, absolutely.
exactly, right. So when we talk about replication, RTO and RPO are the most important thing. The
Hmm.
higher this number, the higher downtime you get. The lower
Absolutely.
this number, the better it is.
Hmm, hmm,
Right?
hmm.
So fair, this is where they were struggling. Right?
True.
अभी another struggle was because like I said ना कि okay यहाँ पे RBI का भी compliance आता है, and then when we talk about compliances, these guys they need to keep on executing their DR drills because
Yeah,
उसका
I
भी
was
report
about
बनता
to
है.
ask because the way in larger building the fire drills happens, the way we
Exactly.
are talking about this phishing drills,
Mm-hmm.
for any company, DR drills is mandatory. They have to perform the DR drills, right? So even
Absolutely.
stock market perform the DR drills on Saturday, test it out on periodic level, no, not every month, but yes, डीआर
Absolutely.
ड्रिल्स एंड तभी आई थिंक आईटी टीम ऊपर नीचे रहती है कि डीआर ऑन होगा कि नहीं.
हाँ, DR ऑन होगा कि नहीं. Right?
True.
And then जो उनका traditional solution था, if they really wanna, execute a DR drill, then they have to shut down the entire network, right?
Hmm.
They needed to shut down their servers, which also is a very big headache. Okay,
Hmm.
so they just could not plan their DR drills. DR drill ही plan नहीं कर पाए तो फिर result is going to be कि risk क्या है वही नहीं पता है. Alright,
Absolutely.
recovery time क्या है वो भी नहीं पता है. So anyways, all
Agree.
those basically follow. Now अदर सोल्यूशन और नॉट सोल्यूशन, बट देन जैसे जैसे इनसे बात करते गए तो फिर बाद में ये भी पता चला कि इन लोगों का तो प्लेटफॉर्म का भी काफी सारा फ्रिक्शन.
Hmm.
They wanted to replicate what is or a server which is on prem, all right, to a cloud. Okay, or more of a VM, right? VM के अंदर भी VMware के issues बाद में they also raise their cost, renewal cost and everything.
Because VMware pricing, I think again a huge increase has happened in last couple of years. So
Exactly.
इसमें कैसा है? If I have example VMware at my DC,
Mm-hmm.
in traditional solution I should have VMware at my DR.
Uh-huh.
So is it like compulsory with this replication solution or what?
No, this is like any to any. And then that was in fact one of my game changer, right?
Oh, okay.
So हाँ, right. So कैसा रहता है in this specific scenario, that was their issue. कि
Hmm.
they want to replicate something which is on prem to a cloud, okay, or maybe to a virtual machine. They were just not able to do it. Okay.
So I can have VMware on my DC, I can have open source on my DR. You
Absolutely.
replicate that.
आराम से,
Okay.
आराम से, right?
Awesome. I
So
have
like I said,
physical and Nutanix. That's also fine.
that is also fine as long as
Cloud, physical. So platform is not a dependency over here.
no,
Okay.
not at all. As long as you have the same OS, you are fine. ओके, देन
Awesome.
उसके बाद डज नॉट मैटर, राइट, कि मेरा हार्डवेयर क्या है. ओके,
Hmm.
राइट, और मैं कहाँ पे उसको डीसीडीआर कर रहा हूँ, नॉन ऑफ दैट मैटर्स. एंड देन लाइक आई सेड ना, क्योंकि दैट वाज
So
माय.
Sanket, अगर ये केस में just I mean I'm sorry I'm interrupting.
दैट्स
It's
ओके.
like that. ये availability I understand it's replication which is रियल टाइम बाई मतलब व्हाट यू आर डूइंग. बट मुझे अगर इसको माइग्रेशन में यूज केस में कन्वर्ट करना है तो एग्जांपल अ पार्टनर इज गेटिंग अ कस्टमर हु आर हैविंग अ example 200 workload on physical they wanted to migrate cloud or cloud to possibly Nutanix or physical. So ये migration में
एब्सोल्युटली,
भी मैं ये tool तो use कर सकता हूँ because example I want
एब्सोल्युटली,
to shift from VMware to Hyper-V. Which tool help me to migrate?
एब्सोल्युटली इट विल. ऑलराइट,
Okay.
बिकॉज थिंक ऑफ इट, माइग्रेशन इज वन टाइम अवेलेबिलिटी, राइट?
Hmm,
दैट्स
hmm.
हाउ वी ट्रीट इट. वी
That's the nice one. Migration is a one-time availability. So first time the overall migration happens. Yeah. Okay.
In fact, we resolved one of the use cases taking migration as well, right? So we
Hmm.
had a hospital chain. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
a hospital chain, they need to be operative 24/7, no matter what.
Yeah.
They wanted to upgrade their entire infrastructure, and then they wanted to migrate to cloud. Okay, so we
Okay.
help them migrate to cloud. Okay,
Awesome.
right?
And no
So
platform dependency.
no platform dependency, no platform
Perfect.
dependency.
Awesome.
So
Yes.
if I come back to the solution that we gave to this non-financial banking customer, okay, like I said, the solution that we have with OpenText, high availability, okay, it works at the byte level and it replicates every single byte. Okay.
That's where you were saying no platform dependency because it's like
Ah,
it works at the byte level where the transfer happens. Awesome. Yeah.
exactly, exactly,
Perfect.
right. Plus, we also resolved their dry run wala issue. Okay,
Hmm.
so they
Hmm.
wanted to do drills. All right, I can execute drills with OpenText availability without taking my systems down.
Hmm. Honestly,
So
yeah,
that is
absolutely.
another feature that kind of comes into the picture. Plus, यहाँ पे fallback is basically into minutes,
Hmm.
right? You know the RTO and RPO that I spoke about. Okay, so OpenText का availability. So if you all remember, double take करके एक organization था,
I was about to say, yeah, it's
and
double tech, right? Which
it
is,
is double
I
take.
think, 30 plus year old
Exactly.
technology.
So double take was acquired by OpenText, right, few years back, and then जो भी
आई
double
थिंक
take का
माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ने एज्योर में जब इनिशियल किया था तो एज्योर का वर्कलोड भी उन्होंने ये डबल टेक से ही माइग्रेट किया था राइट सो
exactly,
बिफोर दे कम अप विद देयर ओन टूल सो डबल टेक
exactly,
इज प्रूवन आई थिंक
it is.
even data centers in India or outside, including Yota, Control S, while Wipro,
सब यही यूज
TCS,
करते हैं,
all this do migration, they use double tech. Yeah,
सब लोग वही यूज करते हैं.
yes. And I
Uh,
think physical to physical, they have a unique product. So there are very few product in market for a physical to physical replication,
mhm.
which double tech is. So double tech, yes, proven stuff. Yes.
It
Oh,
is. It
awesome.
is a proven stuff,
Yeah.
right? We see another thing that these guys had an issue with was their failback plan, right? That if
Hmm.
my server fails or if my source fails, what happens? So
Hmm.
RTO and like I said, RTO and RPO is sub-zero. All right.
Hmm.
The only time it takes is the server restart time. As soon as
True.
my source server is restarted up and running, I am up and running. Okay, so
Awesome.
people won't even feel the difference. And then, needless to say, that kind of translates into automated disaster recovery. All right,
Awesome.
जहाँ पे users won't even figure out, they won't even feel, right, that something has gone wrong. So you are always
Sangeet,
connected.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, and then again, I mean, like I said, so that way your business is always continued, it is always connected. Okay,
True.
and then it never really kind of fluctuates or goes down. So that was the overall scenario. That's how we really helped this specific customer come out with, a more robust, okay, and something which is also compliant, right, solution.
So while I was getting excited, sorry, I was
Yeah,
interrupting last from my angle, that
go ahead.
while we say this kind of requirement, and many of the SIs who are possibly experts when it comes to the networks or possibly even backup and all is that way easy technology. But while we say the data center and application, that
Mhm.
is the heart for any customer. And
Yes,
while a partner, there are very handful of partner who has the
yes.
expertise across the data center layer, right? Because we are playing up with the application. And so do, for example, any partner gets the requirement today and they
Uh-huh,
don't have the expertise. Do
uh-huh.
OpenText provide professional services from a consulting angle that how this will happen? And even at the implementation layer. So can for a partner, they work just like a mediator between a customer and OpenText cybersecurity, and they want someone to own it up such kind of critical project because
Mhm.
migration or the availability is not that way that easy when it comes to the implementation and support. So do you or OpenText Cybersecurity has a professional services for implementation and maintenance? That's the query.
That's a brilliant question, right? In fact, even with this specific customer, he had the same ask, right? क्योंकि
Hmm.
हाँ संकेत ये मैं करूँ तो सही लेकिन मैं करूँ कैसे मुझे नहीं
Hmm.
पता. All right, so that is where even before going to OpenText, Goima's professional services comes into the picture, right? So
Hmm.
I have the capability, I have the skill set, okay, in-house within my team, all right, which can help me with, migration projects or even with all the availability projects, right?
Awesome.
And plus, OpenText has their professional services as well, right?
Yeah.
That is also something that all the partners and customers can definitely
Yeah.
make use
Because
of.
a large BFSI will always want a OEM to be
Absolutely.
involved from a perspective of consulting and implementation.
OpenText
So
has their
that
professional service
professional
that can
service
help
can
you with.
again yeah,
Absolutely.
awesome.
Absolutely.
That
They do have their service, and then that definitely comes into the picture.
perfect. Great. Awesome. That's nice. I think Sanket, a very unique stuff. So last time we discussed a backup with
Mhm.
this availability and migration. Awesome area and double tech is, I mean, we proven solution on that. A lot of OEM